What you do unto the least of these, you do unto me. I go out 4 nights a week right now on the streets of Las Vegas, serving the homeless population. Mainly try to cover the issue of hunger.
Here, take these.
We go out on the streets of Las Vegas and we're feeding the homeless men, women, and children in the Las Vegas Valley that are on the streets.
Tony is one of our angels. Tony takes the food he receives from the 3 Square Food Bank and gets it into the hands of the most vulnerable citizens in our valley. It's so surprising that in Las Vegas we have over 5,000 children who are homeless.
I was in that situation growing up. I was raised by a single mother, and there were times when it was tight. I remember the first time I went to go get help for my family. I was about 8 years old, and I went to a local church, and you can go there and get what we probably all remember as government cheese, government peanut butter, and the basics, and I never forgot that experience. Finally, when I got my own independence at 17 with my driver's license, that's when I started to go down and help feed the homeless. And I had made a promise when I got older that if I was given the opportunity, I would like to help people in the same way, and that's kind of the reasons why I do what I do today.
It was just a 17-year-old kid that started making sandwiches and handing them out, and he took just a very simple act of kindness and just grew it and grew it.
For as long as I've known Tony, he's always helped those less fortunate. After Thanksgiving, you know, put meals together for them, our leftovers, and pass that out. And that's actually how he got started in Homeless Helpers.
5 years ago when we started, we averaged 100 meals a night. Now we currently serve on average of 700 meals a night.
He loves what he does, and he gets us to love it too.
And Tony is an example, a shining example of what can be done when a human being cares enough to step outside of their normal activities and do something extraordinary. Those extraordinary acts impact the lives of thousands of children and seniors and families. And it's because of Tony that so many lives are better today.
The faces of hunger are actually the same faces that we see in the mirror every day. They're you and I.
And families who just last week or last month were working and now find themselves unemployed.
They're our neighbors. They're the kids that our kids go to school with. They're the people that we work side by side with. Hunger doesn't have a face. Hunger is universal, and it's changing every day. It's becoming more like our neighbors and us.
Here's a case of some baby formulas.
Oh, yay.
And then a lot of people, what we end up getting, I wish I could find a ton of these.
I drive a second vehicle for Homeless Helpers on our runs each time we go. And I pretty much take care of women's hygiene and special needs for women and children.
Over my lifetime, I've probably made somewhere in the range of 150,000 sandwiches, but that's just a drop in the bucket compared to the number of meals that we've actually served, because we've got lots of help with our sandwich making now.
The first time I go give the sandwich for the homeless, I cry a lot. And when the old man come, the first one come to me, and I give the sandwich and I cry because it look like my dad. It's a blessing for us to do this thing, to help the homeless.
Tony came about 3 years ago. We usually have a fairly large group of people that come every Thursday to make sandwiches. We make approximately 600 sandwiches for the homeless.
I've had a steady job for 38 years. I come from a company that encouraged volunteerism. I felt it's time to give back. We feel this is a good ministry that helps family with kids.
Because I've been fortunate always to have food on my table, and it's nice to help the people that don't have it on their table.
And the children adore him, and he's just such an inspiration. Those kids are our future, you know. He's making sure that there's volunteers for the future too. Well, we just feel like we are more than lucky here in Las Vegas. We're blessed because we have Tony.
Those are our neighbors. Just because they don't have a home doesn't constitute that they're not our neighbors. Just because they don't live next door to us doesn't mean they're not our neighbors. We all wake up and go to bed under the same sky, so we're all neighbors.